Ask most amateur golfers which course they would play if they could choose from any course in the world, and they would say
Augusta
National. If you ask tour players their favourite course in the world, I've actually heard very few say Augusta National. Having played so many courses now, Rick, around the world, do you consider Augusta National to be your favourite? And could you perhaps offer insight as to why tour pros don't rate Augusta as highly as you might expect? Could it be that Augusta is too hard in tournament play, or do they tend to associate their favourite course with somewhere they've won or played very well? What a great question.
That is a great question. I would unpack that a few different ways. Let me start off by, and again, we did plenty of podcasts on this last year. Augusta National is the best golf course I've ever played. Been very, very lucky to play. The quality of the whole venue is just exceptional. The experience, and you've got to remember the very few amateurs that get to play it, or not tournament players that get to play it, are in such a lucky, privileged position that almost that does absorb a lot of your senses. Like, you're literally walking down the fairway in disbelief. Like, I was playing it going, I can't believe right now, this is, as you mentioned, probably most golfers' number one golf course they ever want to play. And I'm out here playing it today, which is just out of this world. But what's fascinating about Augusta as a fan of golf is that you've watched the Masters so much that you properly know the golf course. Like, I knew every single hole in that golf course, and I've never played it before last year, where there's probably not many golf courses you can really do that on. You know, Pebble Beach, okay? I know a few holes at Pebble Beach, but I don't know every single hole at Pebble Beach.
No.
Even the old course, I've been fortunate enough to play the old course, as you have a number of times now. If someone said to you, what's the 12th hole at the old course? You have to think a little bit, don't you?
Yeah.
It doesn't come straight to your brain straight away. Where if I said, what's the 16th at Augusta National? It's
the par 3.
Yeah. It's like, it's so almost ingrained into our memory. So I think a lot of that has a part in playing on this. Obviously, the condition of the golf course is spectacular. It really, really is. And each and every hole at Augusta National is so unique and different. It is a real standout venue. The one thing, if I had a criticism of Augusta National, and this is normally where when I look at my other favourite golf course I've ever played, Kings Barnes, Trump International, I'm trying to think of other examples. Even the old course to some degree. A lot of the actual surroundings elevate the experience for me. Kings Barnes is an amazing, incredible golf course, but the views, as you know, are absolutely just out of this world. You don't get that at Augusta National. You don't get scenery of the ocean or mountain views. It's like you're basically in a plot in the middle of like Augusta. It's you don't see anything else. You don't know there's a main road outside because these trees on the perimeter are so big. So you don't get to see about that. I think the other thing from a tour player's point of view, is it almost the cool thing not to say Augusta National? Yeah. Is it almost the cool... Because that's probably the answer that most people are expecting. And is it the cool thing to not say Augusta?
That's a good point. I suppose the other thing as well is, when you think about why a golf course is your favourite in terms of whoever this is who's judging, there's lots that comes into it. And I think for the average person, and we'll actually put you in this bracket as well, because I know you get to play some amazing golf courses, but even if someone said to you 2 years ago, will you ever get to play Augusta National? I think your answer would be, I hope so, and there is a chance I will. For the average person, there's no chance they will, really, let's be totally honest.
It's very challenging.
So I think even for you who has played it and may go on to play it again at some point, I think the fact that you have played it is almost like you can't believe it. Like, you've grown up watching that golf. And I think inevitably that is always then going to rank it at your number one. And I think for most people who have played the old course, who are normal people, the old course probably goes their number one because you've played the old course. You've hit the iconic first tee shot. You've played the road hole. You've walked down 18 over the Swilcan Burn and the bridge. It's that almost... Like, for me, there's no way the old course is the best course in the world, but that experience is my best experience, which you very kindly treated me to. And when you look here, there's a website I love, which is the top 100 golf courses. It's actually got, globally, Augusta at number 12.
That's mad.
And you've got one is Cypress Point, Pine Valley, Royal County Down, Shinnecock Hills, National Golf Links of America, Royal Melbourne, St Andrews, Oakmont, Sand Hills, Trump Turnberry, Muirfield, and Augusta. Now, I guess this is
what's bad. Sorry, I've only played 2 of those.
Muirfield.
Well, no, I've
We played Muirfield.
Oh yeah, sorry, Muirfield and St Andrews, obviously Augusta. Yeah, so
you've done 3, but that is obviously done off things like the architecture and all this other. I find it hard to believe that Augusta's number 12 in that list.
I find that hard to believe.
But
I'm with all due respect, and I say this very, 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 very respectfully. In my opinion, Augusta National is better than the other 2 golf courses I've played on that list.
If then you found out that anybody, not just yourself, anybody could play there, and it was kind of a bit like the old course, which is difficult to do, but you can, would that go down?
It could be, yeah. If it didn't hold the Masters, would it go down? Possibly.
So then,
but is that not all wrapped up?
Well, see, that's the point then. If you've almost got the whole wrap-up bit, which is what we're saying, I think therefore Augusta goes number 1 and the old course is so high up. If you could remove all that packaging around it and you went purely off the golf course, would the old course, and in this case Augusta, be as high?
The old course, definitely not as high.
No.
If you lifted the footprints of the old course up and you moved it somewhere else and it didn't have the history and it wasn't home of golf and it wasn't in that plot and you dropped it somewhere else and didn't hold the open every 5 years, it would not be ranked. I don't even... I'm going to be careful what I say here, but it definitely wouldn't be ranked as high as it is on that list.
But again, back to the original question, that is the point. When you go to a golf course, most people, unless you're an absolute golf architecture nerd, you're looking at the whole day, the experience, the pulling up in the drive, the photograph you can take, the feelings that you might get irrespective of how you play. It's the whole package. I think with that being said, again, I've never played Augusta, obviously, that must be why Augusta has to be 1 or 2, whatever.
I think for players, certainly if they've played the Masters quite a few times, I suppose the more times you play it, the less special it becomes.
Well, yeah. And is there almost 2 questions? Is there what's your favourite golf course? In which, for me, if you ask me that question now, the old course wouldn't be number 1. If you said what's your favourite golf experience out of everything I've played, old course would be number 1.
Did you see this weekend? For 3 days of the 4 this weekend, Friday, Saturday, not Sunday, Monday, the old course opened its doors to a very selected few, which I'm a little bit gutted I didn't get invited to, albeit there was chats about me being invited to it, but the invitation never arrived. Is the old course was played in reverse.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, and Monday.
You've been there, done that.
I've done it. Listen, guy, I have.
Lee,
granted,
Tom Watson.
And I did it on a Sunday.
Correct.
But it would have been a hell of an experience. It's such a crazy concept, and it's still to this day the course that apparently Tiger Woods is desperate to play. It's a shame he couldn't make the trip over and play
with you. That was the plan.
I'm sure his invite, like mine, probably was lost somewhere. But the fact you play it in reverse, and it would have been such a, I don't know, just a cool experience. It's a shame. I saw some clips. I don't think the weather was great up in Scotland this weekend, which was a shame, but it's authentic. I would still love to see maybe an Open Championship one time played there in reverse.
For 150, if that would have been phenomenal.
It would have been.
I suppose the infrastructure would be the difficult thing. Would it change much, actually?
It would a little bit. Because you remember when I was lucky enough to play it with Tom, but I don't think it's a massive switch around, really.
Maybe one day.
Maybe.
Right, I need to close your laptop for this. So, oh bang, that was done well. So, we've just been talking about the Masters. The Masters is obviously, we'll do a Masters edition next week, I think, because you are going. Whether we'll, how we fit that in, I don't know.
I've just double checked my flight. I can't remember if I'm flying the Monday or the Tuesday. So, if I fly on the Tuesday, we can do a full-length episode on the Monday.
Okay, right. Well,
if you enjoyed that video clip, be sure to subscribe to the channel and check out the weekly full-length episodes every single Tuesday. You can also listen to it in the car on Apple, Spotify, and all of your favourite podcast platforms.